Hi everyone, it's Agnes and Martina. Thank you for this other t-shirt that you've sent me. It's lovely, it's lovely, it's lovely. They're both fantastic. So I am going to today read you a success story, and it is from SM. And I'm going to read it to you now. So, I just wanted to first provide you a little background on my SP story, specific person. Before I met my specific person, I had ended a very toxic relationship of 2 years with another man. I was single for over a year before I was ready to date again. In 2009, I watched The Secret and read a book titled The Soulmate Secret. In June of that year, I started doing some of the exercises in the book, which included creating a soulmate list of all the attributes of the person I would like to meet. About 4 months later, I met Jay at a concert. I went to the concert with my cousin, who had invited me. Jay's cousin, who had invited Jay's cousin, but Jay's cousin backed out at the last minute, and he asked Jay if he wanted to go in his place. Jay and I apparently had the same circle of friends, but we had never met. The universe was definitely working that magic for us to meet like this. I knew from the moment I saw him that I wanted him and that he was someone very special. After that night, I really got to know him and I realized he matched my soulmate list. All except for one attribute. He didn't have dimples. I felt as if he had been sent to me in response to my list. We started off as friends with benefits, but it evolved into something more over the next year. I was practically at his house almost every night and we talked every day. So in the summer of 2010, he decided he wanted to take another route. So he moved 13 hours away and he got married to someone else. When he first moved, he tried to keep the lines of communication open with me and kept telling me how much he missed me and wanted me in his life. I refused to be the other woman, so I eventually stopped taking his calls. It killed me to do that because I loved him very much. We stopped talking for the most part, as I was hurt by his decision and I wanted to move on. Other than a few emails here and there over the last 8 years, nothing major between us happened. I focused on school and earning my master's degree and on my career. In July 2017, I told the universe that I was finally ready to be with my soulmate. Then, in August, I accepted a new job and moved to a new city. I found Jay's phone number on a piece of paper after I had unpacked some things. It literally fell out of a journal that I had kept from that time. I decided to reach out to him in a simple text saying, "Hey." I didn't expect him to even have the same phone number, much less respond. However, he responded within minutes. As the universe would have it, I haven't been with anyone since him 8 years prior, and that was unintentional, even though I always felt that he was the one and I always knew that he would return. I would learn that he was in the process of a divorce. The timing of the initial contact is still incredible to me. We met up for the first time in September since I split in 2010. He drove the full 13 hours to me for the weekend. When we were together, it was like no time had passed. The chemistry and love was still there after all that time apart. We met up a few more times after that, but since he's a 13-hour drive from me, we didn't meet up very often, but we talked on the phone almost every day. We did this until January 2018. Then he had some negative life events, got distant, and eventually went off the map. Then I got even more needy, which I believe pushed him away even more. The last time I was with him in the physical form was December 2017. I was crushed. January was a very dark month for me. I cried every day and wondered what the hell had happened to make him pull away like that. Sometime in February, I found Agnes Vivarelli on YouTube, and I can't honestly remember how, but she was suddenly there. And I listened to everything she had to say. I'm sure now that I had asked the universe for her. What she said really struck a chord in me. The idea that I could actually manifest a person back into my life I'll admit that was the reason I started watching her videos. I wanted Jay back in my life. I found Neville Goddard through Agnes, and I devoured videos on YouTube, audiobooks, and paperback books. It was as if I had found all the answers to my questions about religion and love that I had been looking for my whole life. I had so many aha moments and breakthroughs from just reading the words. I cried from relief and from a new understanding of the universe that I didn't have previously. Manifesting Jay back was still important, but something else clicked for me. I started working with Agnes's meditations and self-love, and at this point I was still sad and needy, but getting better one day at a time. I then found the Specific Person Facebook group. That group is full of beautiful, loving people who are willing to offer love, guidance, and support to all its members, no matter what their situation. I started putting some of the other techniques and meditations I found into play, but I didn't do them all the time. However, I did some sort of self-love meditation every day, and I sent Jay love whenever I thought of him. I also frequently did a sending love meditation and fell asleep to the Ho'oponopono prayer. I tried to focus mainly on me and healing myself from the inside out. I finally received a message from him in March, then again in April, but nothing more. I would later find out that his phone had been shut off, so he had no way to really contact me. But during this time, I kept up with my daily self-love and watching a ton of videos on manifesting. I think I even did self-love 3 times a day on some days during these first few months. I wrote out affirmations on self-love, and I posted them in my bathroom as a background on my phone, and even kept a list in my purse. Those affirmations are still there, and I still see them daily. The most important thing I did, other than self-love, was Neville's idea of living in the end. It felt so silly at first, as if I was just playing pretend. The more I did it, though, the more real it felt. I would sometimes open my eyes after a visualization and be surprised that he wasn't really with me. I started sleeping with him every night and waking up with him every morning. Some mornings it was a shock to me that he wasn't physically there. I have been doing this for a few months now and living mostly in the end, where we are together as much as I can. I also script everything, and I allow the feeling of gratitude to wash over me when I am finished scripting. I say thank you to the universe daily, and I mean it. Even though I hadn't heard from him since April, I decided to make the 13-hour trip in June and tried to see him then, but I had no idea where he was or how to contact him. This was me trying to force the universe to give me what I wanted when I wanted it. It wasn't time yet. Everything happens in divine timing. I have found that to be true. Needless to say, I did not see him in June. I still kept up with my manifesting routine though. I would say sometime in July 2018, I really started feeling like it had happened, like I wasn't trying to force the feelings. I felt mostly relaxed and in a kind of slight anticipation mode, like I knew it was on its way. I knew he would be back and it would be exactly the way I wanted it. I just knew it. I felt it. That's the only way I can describe it. There was no doubt because it had to happen. It had already happened in my imagination. The physical world just had to catch up. I got another message from him in late July. Even though his phone service had been shut off, he found a way to message me. He had been having a hard time being able to message me daily because of a broken phone and major life and health issues that are out of his control. He shared all of this with me, as well as an apology for not being around. Then I heard from him again the first week in August. Also into manifesting, had put a bug in my ear just the day before I heard from him that I needed to go and see him. Somehow my conversation with him led me to make plans to drive down to him just a couple of days later. This is inspired action. I know this was inspired action. I saw triple numbers reminding me on my way down there, and I just felt at peace and knew I would see him and touch him again. I was as cool as a cucumber, as my friend puts it. Now, keeping in mind he had some life issues that kept him from being able to see me or talk to me like he could before. So to be able to see him in person like this was truly the work of the universe. I know it. I also know that I manifested this exact meeting because some of the things in our time together had happened in my scripts and in my meditations. The biggest one was when I laid next to him that first night. It was exactly the way I had been doing it nightly. And we never laid together like this before. He also said, "I love you" to me in a parking lot, and he had done this in another visualization I had done previously. Some other things were similar, but not exactly how I imagined to be. That's okay, I love surprises. Jay was such a gentleman, carrying all my bags. You know us ladies need options, and getting the door for me, making sure that he held the umbrella over me when it was raining, cuddling me, just doing all the things that I had always wanted him to do that he just didn't do before. He seemed much more interested in the affection part than the sex part, although he was interested in the sex part too. He's not really big on physical affection, as he was always more acts of service type of guy. So I know I manifested that change in him. He's never just laid his head on my lap or held my hand. He never told me he loved me in person until that weekend. He said it on the phone or text, but not in person. The last day I was with him, he told me he loved me in person. We have plans to meet again, as I told him I'd like to come down in October. My car has a broken piece that I have duct taped on, so he told me to find the part and he would put it on for me. There's that act of service guy in play. I know that our journey isn't over, and I will continue practicing my self-love, scripting, gratitude, and living in the end. I know that I can't just stop because I'm manifesting this one meeting with him. This meeting is just the beginning. This was almost impossible situation that happened, but it happened and I am over the moon. I am so thankful for finding Agnes and Neville, but I am even more thankful for finding myself through them. Yes, I know that no matter what happens, I have me, and that is the most important relationship I will ever have. Oh, okay. Lovely, lovely. So. Story of J and S. Thank you, S, for your fabulous story. I love when people, just really learn and then become just more of who they are, and more connected and more relaxed, at peace, and just feeling better. That's cool, really. So thank you very much, S, for sending in your story. I will put your email down below, as you said I could, so that people can contact you. And such a fabulous story. Now, another viewer, Love Always, has sent me some links to someone's channel. Bruce Lipton is his name, so I'm going to put the link down below for those of you that want to check out a little bit more of something else from someone else around manifesting, law of attraction. So that will be down below for you to check out as well. Lots of love.